Thank you for coming back to watch my video descriptions of my 2018 acrylic painting series, Brave New World, by myself, Ian Young of Kansas City. The series was based on the 1932 science fiction novel written by Aldous Huxley. This is painting number 10, and of course video number 10. This one is titled, Oh Brave New World, The Riot of the Deltas, Violence During Medication Time, and is sort of the title track of the series. After the passing of John's mother, Linda, and this is John here, he boxes the Delta twin who mocks her appearance between the ears in the last painting and storms out of the hospital for the dead and dying, demanding answers and seeking revenge. The Savage is heading towards the offices of World Controller Mustafa Mon himself when he passes a dispensary recreation hall, providing the Deltas with their daily rations of somas. He stares angrily at the Deltas lining up for their pills, and then psychotically at the Betas who are distributing the medication, and decides to intervene. The hall is designed like a giant game room, where the Deltas can enjoy leisure time to the fullest extent before going back to their menial and manual labor jobs. As John plots to destroy the dispensary, the security's cameras catch him reciting a phrase from The Tempest, William Shakespeare's final play, who is John the Savage's favorite author. With tears down his face, John mutters to himself in sarcastic despair, "How beauteous mankind is, O brave new world," which is why I named the painting as such. He then stands up on a table and yells warning to all the Deltas that the pills they are taking are poison and turn them into slaves and make them accept a fate that no rational or thinking human being would ever accept without the pills. They just laugh at John, though. They keep popping pills and playing games and flirting and fornicating, so John grows more enraged. Still in agony over the events at the hospital, John vandalizes the drug distribution centers, dumps most of the pills out of the window, flushes the rest, and screams for revolution. The Deltas form a mob to confront John. When Bernard, along with close friend Helmholtz Watson, arrive on the scene, initially to try to calm John down, but when they see him being assaulted by the lower case, the case they'd spent their whole lives working for and catering to begrudgingly over the course of decades, they snap to and wind up assisting John in the riot. With the police show up in riot gear and laugh and gas the three alpha perpetrators into fits of submission, which you can kind of see here, here, here. Let's take a look at the painting a little deeper now. Here, of course, is John the Savage in the lower left, red-faced and screaming, a tear down his face for his deceased mother, ready to bash in the skull of a beta minus distribution technician who is trying to stop him. These cylinder-looking structures are straight from the 1980 film. I took the idea from there. Out of the whole series, this is by far the painting that resembles the imagery in the 1980 film the most, which was intentional. This particular scene always gave me the chills. Mass groups of people voluntarily submitting to their own servitude and self-destruction. That idea really got under my skin for whatever reason, and I really wanted to bring the same symbolism to this piece. There's lots of symbolism to promote the excessive drug use in gaming and play as well. Smiley faces, happy signs, giant nurse inflatables up here at the top, handing out pills happily, some traditional games like ping pong and foosball and pool, as well as arcade machines all throughout the painting. To include some action in the piece, I set the distribution centers John smashes into flames, which are these three here. The fire is spreading up to the inflatables and who knows where after that, just to give it some color and some action. The Deltas in yellow are screaming and fighting and punching and kicking and pointing, as you can see throughout the piece, all dressed in yellow, their respective color. Here in the pool table in the middle is Helmholtz Watson, John and Bernard's friend, kind of giving it to some deltas. Here's Bernard Marks up here, also about to take a swing in the middle of it all. These police in blue riot gear that I pointed out earlier wear gas masks to protect themselves from the drug vapor that is going to make the crowd so high and so happy and sedate them to the point where they will stop rioting and allow the police to intervene and completely take over the situation. They eventually spray Bernard, John the Savage, and Helmholtz Watson, who have no choice but to submit per the chemical inducement, and they do submit to the police ultimately, whether they want to or not. The story is all over the news by the time Mustafa Aman, the world controller, finds out about it. And, the other world controllers all expect him to lay down the law once and for all. Too many scandals had taken place in too short a time on his watch involving John and Bernard, not to mention Helmholtz Watson by this time. And Mustafa's job and reputation are both on the line. The police take Bernard, John, and Helmholtz into his private corridors to discuss their punishment. And that's how the 10th painting ends, is with them being dragged away. Thanks so much for watching this 10th video about the 10th Brave New World painting in my 2018 series. I am Ian Young, talking from Eastern Kansas, United States. Please stay tuned for the 11th video on the 11th painting. This one is called Sentencing, the final verdict of Mustafa Aman, 2 islands and a lighthouse. Thanks for watching.